Hello and welcome to Flyers Post Game Live presented by Cure Auto Insurance. I am Taryn Hatcher. He is Al Morganti. And Al, I have a lot of emotions after this. So the Flyers fall to the Lightning 4-3 in a shootout loss. And there's a lot to glean from this one. They played a bad second period, which has kind of become a trend, but they limit the Lightning to 3 total shots in the third, and they play an absolutely electrifying overtime period. You got some good goaltending from Carter Hart again, and your captain leads you here. What do you take away from this? I
think the takeaway is you're not elated, but you're not mad at him. It
is the two-time Stanley Cup champion.
Yeah, and you would have been elated. I mean, the puck the squirts through Hart to you get behind in the game, but you come back. Then, as you mentioned, the overtime was just fabulous. And I think what you look at is the effort the block shots that you had to maintain you're in the game when Tampa started to come at you with the wave of offense that they have. And then the end, the overtime was just terrific. Just terrific saves. I mean, that goaltender, Hart played well enough, but Vasilevsky was just fabulous.
Yeah, it was very interesting to watch them against each other because we've talked about just how impressive Carter was this season. You get to see him in a game with Andrei Vasilevsky, who is also incredibly impressive. I do want to talk about the stark contrast between the disarray of the second period and the limiting shots in the third. What do you think the biggest difference was the Flyers were able to? I know they scored in the third. I know Steven Stamkos did, but that was their second shot of the period when he scored. What do you think the difference was there?
I think they were more disciplined in both when they had the puck to manage it better, to get out of their zone, to not allow Tampa to go wheeling into their zone. And I think that had a lot to do with the way they played that period. It was a pretty impressive. You know what you were looking for? You didn't want the team to collapse when Tampa came back. In other words, you can tell there's a confident hockey team and a team that lacks confidence. A team that lacked confidence or kind of belief in itself would have fallen apart with Tampa coming at them with waves. But you didn't see that in this game. You saw the Flyers kind of close ranks there and play a very solid third period, then let in a leaky goal and still managed to come back.
Yeah, they played in a way that allowed them to get to that point where Claude Giroux can send them to overtime. They can at least salvage a point out of this game, which leads us to our game-winning vision presented by VSP Vision Care. Like we said, an absolutely electric overtime. No goals in it, so they go to a shootout.
Yeah,
and
the voltage wasn't so high in the shootout.
Andrei Vasilevsky in a shootout, and you just think, oh no.
Well, if that's not bad enough, you look at the shooters that you had. There you see Stamkos just with a wrist shot. Here you go, trying to pull the puck past the goaltender Vasilevsky. You just can't do it. He just stays with you when he sees you coming in one-on-one, and then it's just a draw the goaltender and just bang. They've got such it's a frightening prospect that you're going to have to go at them in a shootout like that, which is why in the overtime you just let her go.
Yeah, it is a shame that, that's how the night ends for Carter Hart, the leaky goal and then that. All right, let's now head over to the crossover, and for that we welcome in Jim Jackson and Keith Jones. I want to start with the same question I asked Al. What do you walk away from this game thinking, given some of the Flyers' issues as well as some of their bright spots in this one?
All right, Taryn, let me ask you, are you glass half full or glass half empty?
At this point in the night, just a glass of anything.
So, well, I'll say half full because I have something that really concerns me, but glass half full, I'm going to go third periods because the Flyers have just played 2 really good hockey teams and dominated them in the third period. Calgary the other night and again here tonight, and that is a real good sign moving forward. If you're dominating third periods, and the Flyers have been a good third period team all year, but especially here in games where maybe they were struggling in the second, and that's like glass half empty comment, but the glass half full is the third period where they have been really good. They give up the goal and still find a way to get to overtime. So really happy with that. Flyers have given up 9, I think. Not many third period goals. So that's a good sign. Jonesy, the half empty second periods where they really are struggling.
Yeah, I'm full beer on this one. I thought it was great, and I can't wait to go have one. But that was
I'll see you in the Center City Club, Jonesy.
Yeah, that was a very entertaining third period. The overtime was incredible. I mean, we've seen some really good hockey recently, and that's great news. I agree with what Al was saying prior to us coming on the air. The fact that the Lightning scored that third goal and the Flyers came back, that wasn't happening last year. They're finding ways to come together as a team. Tampa dominated the second period. Flyers came out and had a very strong third period. Lots of good positives for this team in the early going, and that's an outstanding hockey team that they're playing against. I mean, back-to-back Stanley Cup championships. They're loaded with talent throughout the lineup. They lost some key players, and they've added some guys that fit in seamlessly. Big challenge in the game tonight. The shootout didn't go their way, but overall, feel pretty good about the way the team's playing right now.
Guys, they look like, despite the loss, a confident team, confident that they could overcome whatever happened in the second period, and also confident when things started to go the wrong way. And we've seen this with all teams. When you see teams that lack any of that, it just starts to kind of snowball on them. But they look like they're a very, very confident bunch right now.
You have to be a confident team, Jonesy, to take the dagger they took. I mean, their goalie, who's been all-world so far this year, gives up that goal with less than 2 minutes to play, and be able to quickly react. They got the goalie pulled seconds after they got back into play, and to be able to come up with a way to get that game to overtime. You have to have a certain amount of confidence and resolve to be able to do that.
Yeah, and the leaders of the team wanted to get back out there for that final face-off. They were out there for the first minute when Hart was at the bench. The second group of guys came on the ice. One whistle with 10 seconds left in the game. There's a lot of times that coaches will leave the unit that's out there. They did generate a scoring chance, but Giroux hopped over the boards and everybody else followed. So they want to be in the big moments. They want to make a difference, and their captain's been doing it throughout the season so far. All positives from that regard. Second periods are going to be something they're going to have to continue to work on. A lot of energy in the second period, maybe shorten the shifts up a little bit and make sure that they're able to skate with some of the highly skilled players on the opposition. And this month is loaded with difficult opponents, so it's not going to get any easier.
Well, on the note of second periods, and I don't want to risk bringing up more glasses, beers, or beverages here, but on the note of second periods,
big risk.
Jonesy, when you look at just kind of how consistently they've struggled in second periods, when you look at some of the stats, whether it's shots on goal or how many shots they've allowed on goal themselves in second periods, what do you think that's an indicator of, whether it's going too hard too early or not being prepared or getting away from your game? What is it?
It's usually legs. It's usually your energy level when you really have to skate in the second period, and they've been outskated for many of the second periods. So I think with an Alain Vigneault coach team, as they practice, as they continue to battle through a more normal regular season schedule, I think they're going to build in that regard. I think they're going to get better because they'll become an extremely well-conditioned team. And normally second period struggles are based upon the amount of energy that your opponent has compared to what you have. And that's the one thing that really stands out to me. There's some shifts where Flyer players look tired on the way to the bench. Maybe they've overextended their shifts. They may want to focus on that. You can do a lot of little things that will go a long way, but the most important thing is being an extremely well-conditioned team. That's sometimes where second period flaws can become evident when you're not playing with a ton of energy.
Well, the concerning part there, November's kind of a busy month, and it doesn't really slow down. We'll see what the Flyers can do. J.J. Jonesy, thank you so much for joining us here on The Crossover.
Our pleasure.
See you guys.
All right, it's time now for the Colonial Nissan Game Changer. And Al, it is the reason the Flyers salvage a point out of this game. Claude Giroux, his second goal of the game, the one to tie this one up. I mean, how huge is it that it's your captain who leads you in these moments?
Well, this was, this was something that went the wrong way on him. So we had to get to there first.
Yeah.
So this was the leaky
This
goal.
is the
And
Steven Stamkos strange angle.
The bad angle goal by Stamkos. And this one really could have been the heartbreaker. And it doesn't matter if the puck goes past your goaltender, you're not going to get credit for sweeping him back in. But that was the bad goal that went in. And that's when you needed, after that happened, you needed your captain and your team to come back after that. But that really looked like, oh, what a miserable night it's going to be. And yes, Tampa Bay eventually gets the win, but they came back from that horrible moment.
How tough is it to see Carter allow a goal like that? And you knew eventually one of those is bound to happen in a season or in a goaltender's career, despite he can play as phenomenally as Carter has played for however many stretch of games he has. It's still tough to see those when he battles so hard.
And he'll see that again. I mean, it'll happen. It happened too often in the past. We've seen it, year after year. It seemed like goaltending was an issue here. But that was the outlier. And from what we've seen this year, it looked like just there was going to be a great goaltending battle till the end. And they did manage to come back.
Yes.
This was the face-off, the set face-off.
That was the test run, Claude Nissan Game Changer. We thought Stamkos' goal might change the game, but no, in fact, Claude Giroux.
Yeah, and this was a set play off the face-off. Here you see him. Look at the traffic in front. Brassard wins that face-off. Atkinson Madison goes to the front of the net, so the goaltender can't see it, good as he is. And what I really loved, in addition to the goal, I'll tell you, Giroux's celebrations, the hands in the air.
It means something. It always means something.
It does, absolutely. He wanted that.
It means more.
It does. He wanted that so badly. It's the same thing he had after that first goal. So he put a parentheses on this game in terms of what the Flyers did right here. And that was just a huge, huge goal.
It was, because, as we said before, Flyers salvage a point, and at the end of the season, you never know when those little one-pointers are going to add up and maybe put you in a place you need to be. All right, coming up here on Flyers Post-Game Live, presented by Cure Auto Insurance, we will hear from head coach Alain Vigneault. We will get his reaction to this game that has stoked so many reactions from the two of us. We'll be right back.